Mm-hmm. 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 Da da da. Mm-hmm. 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 Hey everybody, how's it going? So today we're going to get started working on an A1706 MacBook that's not turning on. We're going to open this thing up and see if we can figure out why it's not turning on and make it work again. Live on stream, Saturday night, with all of you. Let's have some fun. We have Rob Brown in the chat today, the king of component level repair in the entire state of Kentucky. Everybody give a warm welcome to our friend Rob Brown. There's a cat meowing outside. Give me one moment to let the cat in. Blackberry? Blackberry. She's running away. Silly cat. She just yells for attention. You just want attention. You don't want my heart. She just wants a can of food. She doesn't want my heart. You just want attention. 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 Where's my tool? Open this thing up. Do you know how to fix Razer Blade 15 doing a BIOS update and a blue screen? Any advice? You're going to have to find somebody who's willing to take the chip off, get a working ROM, and flash it. Chris here is usually good at that. I haven't dealt with the BIOS programmer in a long time. Okay, so what do we have here? So this is an interesting one. This is an interesting one for me. So one of the things that I notice is that they changed the battery in the computer, and the computer is still not charging. And I want to see if any of you can guess why that's the case. Can any of you guess why this computer is not charging, even after they did all the work of replacing their battery with an aftermarket battery? By the way, folks, this is why, when a customer tells you to do a certain thing for them, never, ever, ever fucking do the thing that the customer tells you to do. Never! Because not only is it not going to work at the end, you're still not going to get paid. If a customer says, it's not charging, fix it. You fix it. If the customer says, replace this part, no. You're there to solve their problem. You're not there to do what they tell you. Because a lot of people don't actually know what it is they need. They don't know what they want. They know what'll make them happy, but they don't know what they want. Similar to dating. So if we go into this machine over here, you'll see that our CD3215 is covered with corrosion. Absolutely covered with garbage. This is our charging chip. So there's no point to replacing the battery because it's never going to work. The customer is never right. Or as Dr. Gregory House would say, everybody lies. Okay, we gotta open this thing up. Yeah, we're gonna have some fun opening this thing up. How are you all doing this Saturday evening? Hope you're all having a lovely Saturday night. Doing something fun, exciting, enjoying yourself. No, I'm not going to be enjoying myself because it looks like this CD3215 has underfill on it. I hate underfill. Underfill pisses me off, but it is a reality of life. It's part of the job. A roach-free board. This board doesn't have roaches, so I guess I should appreciate that. Clicked because of the cat. The cat actually jumped off the moment that I started the stream. He's getting fired for that. That's bull. Underfill is this stuff that goes under the chip, which is actually decent for keeping the chip from falling off of the board. It also adds to liquid resistance. The problem is that it's not going to allow... If I have to replace the chip, I now have to scrape off all the underfill without scraping the pads that are directly underneath the underfill. So it's what's going to allow you to, let's say, drop your cell phone without the balls underneath the CPU to become cracked. It keeps you from cracking your balls. It keeps your balls from getting busted. What's the best way to learn? Experimentation. Experimentation. Don't experiment on customer stuff. Experiment on older stuff, though. Or recycled stuff. Stuff that where there's no customer that's going to be on the other end of it in the immediate future. So what is up with all of you? How are you all doing today? All 205 of you. Bafang now use CAN bus and lock the batteries to the motors and displays. No end-user programming, and only dealers can use bus programmer. Well, looks like I am never buying a Bafang motor again. Yeah, fuck them if that's the case. I'll probably get a Cyclone. The thing is, I have a Phase Runner, and honestly, I don't want to change the setup on my bike because the Phase Runner motor controller I have is hooked up to a G-Drive heatsink, and it's put in a spot where it's going to get a lot of ventilation. I don't want to have to find a new place to put a controller. So I'd want to keep the same controller. What are some good mid-drive motors that are plug-and-play-ish with a Phase Runner? And I'm open to adjusting the PID loop. I'm more than happy to reprogram the controller. I just don't feel like getting a whole new controller. Because when I blow out this Bafang, I'm not going to give them money again if that's what they're doing. Moving out right now, and I'm overwhelmed as hell. Any tips on dealing with it? Moving always sucks. I don't know what to tell you. I have no tips. Where are you moving to? What would be the cost of replacing an LG monitor USB-C port? I don't know. Depends on how annoying it is to open the monitor. Also have to find the USB-C port. I don't have any USB-C ports to that. Hello, Rodrigo. How are you doing, sir? Hope you're having a lovely day. Oh, somebody lost the screw to the lifeboat connector. That's lame. You can't lose that. I haven't tried extended fasting, no. That's not something I've done recently. The cat is over there on the other side of the room. Yeah. I should do what the Twitch thoughts do. I'm thinking, you know how they do this shit where it's like, you know, for every $1 you pay, she will do a push-up with like the camera zoomed in on her cleavage and shit like that. All that stuff on Twitch. Every time somebody gives more than $100, I will show the cat. I should do something like that. I should start exploiting the cat. I'm thinking of exploiting the cat for revenue. I'm not above it. My day's going all right, Rodrigo. Just working some things out. Working some things through. Making some... planning some things for my week. I could have a great week ahead of me. Or I could have a insane week ahead of me. Time will tell. Time will tell. Hi, Marcel. How are you? Oh, you serious? Oh, see, this is the screw that belongs in the lifeboat connector, and somebody put it in to hold the board in. I think you're way more important over here. If this connector pops out, it's not good for your drive power or your data. I make the executive decision that the screw is more important there than it is over there. I'm not giving Fang any more money or Apple any more money. My A1706 was given me, no need to fix it. What's wrong with it? But also, more importantly, if you could help me out there, what motors would you recommend in place of a BBS HD that are just easily compatible with a phase runner motor controller? The phase runner is based, I think, on the ASI Accelerated Systems BAC855. I've used the ASI BAC855 itself, and I much prefer the phase runner interface because of the liquid resistance of the wiring. I actually have a video on my live channel where I'm manually soldering wires to what remains of the pins because it was because that is not even close to water resistant. Apparently they're locking shit with CAN bus Cupolini. I don't want nothing to do with that. I haven't confirmed it yet. To be clear, that's just literally shit that showed up in my chat. I got to be careful with that shit since the coder and Northridge Flux incident. To be clear, when I read things from my chat, I'm reading things from my chat. I'm not confirming if it's true or false in real time, so everybody knows. Because I'm busy fixing a MacBook. Okay, we're going to put this on the side for a moment. I was promised a cat. Yeah, and I was promised the pursuit of happiness. Welcome to America. We don't always get what we want. Okay, so let's turn the microscope on. Okay, so I'm going to be trying to see if I can save this CD3215. Now, when somebody asked what underfill is, let's see if I can give you a good example. Let me just get my camera in a better focus. Okay, so you see how there's this kind of sticky-ish stuff on the side of the chip? Now watch, if I try to put my tweezer underneath the chip, it won't go under there because it's underfill. Now that makes the chip harder to replace, however it also means that the liquid is not going to damage what's directly under the chip the same way that it would otherwise, that those balls are not going to be corroded. However, it also means that I cannot heat to reflow the chips in this area the same way that I usually would. The reason I can't heat to reflow things in this area is because it's going to expand the balls under the chip, and the balls are going to have no place to expand because of the underfill. They are going to bust through the underfill and explode. So essentially, you don't want your balls to explode. It's pretty much the exact opposite of what you're looking to do in real life. You want to keep the balls from exploding. So over here, what we need to do is clean up this area, but simultaneously avoid the balls exploding under this chip, because if this chip is still good, I can still use it. Now, there are some things here that look absolutely shitty, and I'm going to try a different approach here. I don't usually use soldering tweezers, but today I'm going to try using some soldering tweezers, because some soldering tweezers means that I don't have to use hot air to replace the components in this area that most likely do need to be replaced. I don't want to leave stuff on the board that looks like shit. And there's quite a bit over here that looks like shit. Now, just a tip. If you try to use hot tweezers to remove a component, you're going to notice that if you don't actually preheat or add some solder like this, it's not going to want to come off the same way. So you got to add a little bit of solder, and then you just kind of work it back and forth like this. You don't want to solder on top of corrosion. That's not any good. What you want to do is you want to have a little ball of solder, and have whatever junk is there just kind of get absorbed onto it. The flux is that's inside the solder is going to help clean up as you're doing this. It's going to help you throughout this process. Now, as you can see, this board kind of looks like shit. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of scraping in order for there to be something there for me to solder to. Ah, yes, the bigger the glob, the better the job. We managed to get some better pricing from Inventec recently, so that all of you that use store.rossmangroup.com can get a bigger glob for less money. To do a better job. Okay, there we go. Now there's one other capacitor there that doesn't look so good. I'm just going to put a small amount of flux over there. You know, just the minimal amount. Oh, cool, Neuro. I like my Phase Runner motor controller. Like, they have real error codes, and the error codes actually correspond to guides in their website with diagnostics, and really, I was able to figure out that it was my motor that had I was able to figure out that my controller had a shorted FET, rather than the motor controller, very quickly and easily, because of the documentation that ebikes.ca provides for the Phase Runner. Like, they're a really good company. They make good stuff. To be clear, I'm not sponsored by them. I pay full retail price for everything I purchase from that company. I just like the fact that they really do seem to support and live out the values that I talk about on this channel. So I'm a fanboy of them as a result of that. And I give them money even when things cost more from their website than they would from another vendor, because I appreciate the values that they put out there into the world when it comes to their unique products like the Phase Runner. Okay, we're just going to remove some of those resistors over here. Hot enough, Ryan, hot enough. It really depends on what kind of board you're working on, to be honest with you. It's a very situation-dependent question. So I found out my girlfriend hasn't watched Harry Potter. What should I do, says Mr. Gorian. Be happy that you have a girlfriend, because probably 99% of the people that are in my chat that are watching a YouTube motherboard repair live stream on Saturday night probably don't have a girlfriend or any prospects with women. So I would be appreciative of what you have. There are people that don't and like. Thank you, Meme Jeff. Hattie Langford's advice is to invite her to watch Harry Potter. Well, that's pretty good advice. I mean, you are together. She's your girlfriend. You should go do some things together. Enjoy each other's company. I dare everyone to donate a like. Thank you, Meme Jeff. That is too kind of you. Okay. If that's what you think about the viewers, then what does that say about the guy making the YouTube videos on the Saturday evening? Hey, I'm not saying I'm any better. I'm not saying I'm any better. It's only 6:21. You don't know what I have planned for the rest of the... Oh, come on. What are you guys planning? Seriously? Really? Is that the game we're going to play now? You're all fucking Romeos in here? Yeah, right. Okay, give me a second. I got to go grab a donor to grab some parts from an 820-00923. I will be right back, right after this commercial break from our sponsors. Hold on, folks. Don't touch that dial. I am the slime on the video. I am the slime on your living room floor. Da 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 da. I am the slime on the video. Hold on, folks. Don't touch that dial. Dun 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 dun. Gonna be moving to Montana soon. Raise me up some dental floss. I got Frank Zappa in my head if you couldn't notice. Grab your kitty. I came for cat. Yeah, you got clickbaited, mofo. You got fucked. You got fucked. Sorry. Okay. I have a microscope in the link of this video. It's similar to the one that I'm using right now. The company that made this one, they pretty much buy it. I think they buy it from the same company that makes the microscope that Amscope is using. I imagine all these are made in the same factory somewhere. Okay, let's get this capacitor off here. Wow. Okay, we're gonna... This is why I don't like hot tweezers. We always make it rain for Frank Zappa references. Well, hello! One moment before I curse uncontrollably for not being able to get that capacitor in place. I'm going to take a 45-second break. I'm going to take a 45-second break. McDoomington got that right. I'm plucking the old dental floss that's growing on the pear, plucking the floss. I plucked all day and all night and after. I'm riding a small tiny horse. I don't care if you think it's silly, folks. I don't care if you think it's silly, folks. You know how many times my dad asked, like, why are you listening to a song about dental floss? I was surprised. I figured he would have gotten it since that's his generation, not my generation. That album was either 1973 or 1971. Tina Turner and did a really good job on that. The story about it is funny, where they just, her husband was, or boyfriend at the time was thinking, what the fuck? Why is my girlfriend singing about fucking dental floss and ponies in a prairie? I'm riding a small, tiny horse. His name's Mighty Little, he's a good horse. Even though he's a bit dicky to strap a big saddle on blanket on anyway, he's a bit dicky to strap a saddle on blanket on anyway. I can never sing it the way she did, but it was so amazing the way that she managed to sing that. I don't care if you think it's silly, folks. I don't care if you think it's silly, folks. You should listen to that album. Frank Zappa's Overnight Sensation. Such a good album. Oh man, what a piece right there. That's a piece of freaking art history. I'm going to wind up cheating and using a little bit of hot air to flow this stuff into place. This is maddening. Holy crap. Yeah. By the way, here's a tip for you all. Anytime you're having trouble soldering something because of what's nearby, move the board around on the desk. You need to be comfortable. Like, don't think about the board's comfort. You're not a waiter for the board, You need to put the components where they need to go, and you need to have the board in the position that makes you comfortable soldering whatever it is that you're soldering. You're not thinking about the board's comfort. You're thinking about your own comfort. The red dot on the IC is a liquid damage sticker, which is correct in this case because this computer is liquid damaged. Raise your hand if you're a Frank Zappa fan in the chat. How many Frank Zappa fans do we have here? Jesus Christ, this is frustrating. This used to be so easy for me. That resistor is tombstones. I don't want it to be tombstones. Okay, it's upside down, which makes... I'm happy with that. Frank Zappa came up with the entire framework that was, stuff like the Apple iTunes Music Store and stuff like that, way before its time. Frank Zappa was the man. I haven't heard him, but I like the sound of his stuff. Thank you for the 50 knocks, Meme Jeff. I'm telling you, it's worth listening to some Frank Zappa. Dynamo hum, where's this dynamo coming from? Da-da-da, but I heard a thing from the dynamo hum. Got a spot that gets me hot. You ain't been to it. Da-da-da, got a spot that gets me hot. You ain't been to it. But I gotta get into it if I'm gonna get out of it. And you gotta get out of it to get yourself into it. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da 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 da. Just get me wasted and you're halfway there. 'Cause if my mind's tore up, then my body don't care. I rubbed my chinny chin chin and said, my, what sort of thing might this lady get high upon? I checked out her sister, who was holding the bet, and wondered what kind of trip the young lady was on. The $40 bill didn't matter no more when her sister got naked and laid on the floor. She said Donna Moe might win the bet, but she could use a little poo if I wasn't done yet. I told her just because the sun won a place in the sky, no reason to assume I wouldn't give her a try. That was a good song. That entire album is amazing. Don't let me ruin it for you. He died too young. The Grand Wazoo is another one of my favorites from Frank Zappa. Oh, the Grand Wazoo is so good. Thank you, Roman Getman. Okay, where else is the corrosion on this board? I didn't build anything, Kaiser. This community would have existed without me. All it is people showing repairs and uploading them to the internet. There's nothing I'm doing here that should be radically credited to me in any way, shape, or form. Don't want to scrape too hard. You want to keep the solder mask there. Also, I just knocked off a couple of resistors. Yay! Oh well. Bound to happen. No big deal though. Who cares? So what? You made a little mistake. Oh well. You fix it and you be happy. No big deal. You'll see. I'm gonna put everything back and it's gonna look great. And nobody will ever see this through the magic of editing. Thank God I'm not doing this live. Oh. Well, you guys will forget that I did that. This was more fun when I had better control over my hands. But what are you gonna do? No use crying over spilled milk. Let's get that in there. Okay. No use crying over spilled milk. Do the best with what you got. Gonna make that look factory, don't even worry about it. I want to limit the amount of time you use heat over there because there's a chip on the other side of the board. Just short bursts and much lower temperature than usual in this area. Okay, and we're just going to give the board a quick look-see, look through. Yeah, so the cat is clickbait. The cat is clickbait. We stand Frank Zappa because he went to war with Dee Snider and John Denver against Tipper Gore and the PMRC. The Parents Music Resource Center was an American committee formed in 1985 with the stated goal of increasing parental control over the access of children to music deemed to have violent, drug-related, or sexual themes via labeling albums with parental advisory stickers. Ah, fuck that. Yeah, good on Frank Zappa. I don't see much of anything to be mad at on this side of the board. Bro! You... Come on! Yo, shit. Пиздец, сука, блядь. It's not my fault the title's clickbait. Listen, if the cat were on his proper perch instead of being an asshole and sitting right behind it to avoid being on video, you'd be able to see the cat. The reason you don't see the cat is because the cat chose not to be there. Now, I can't make the cat show up there. Honestly, if any of you have ever had a cat, you know you can't make a cat do anything. Now this is annoying because it's too close to the chip for my freaking hot tweezer to get in there. Oh yeah, that's annoying. Let's see, can we file this? Hit the... Okay, the top one looks fine. It was the two middle ones that look wrecked. Wrecked with the KT. Yeah, that chip's underfilled, and the underfill is sticking out just enough to make it really annoying to get my tweezers in there. And I don't want to use hot air because I don't want to mess up the balls underneath the chip. Yeah. Asked if she had any cooties in there. What do you mean, cooties? No cooties on me. Who are you kidding? It was the early 70s. Of course cooties on you. What a Frank Zappa song. Okay, a little bit of hot air. There's lead, and the balls under are going to be lead-free. So it's my hope that I can get in there fast enough that I won't have to worry about melting the balls under the chip and causing the chip's balls to go away. So I'm going to be really fast with this. And there we go. And now we hope and pray. Hope and prayers that this works. Hope and prayers. Hope and prayers. Like every school shooting in America. Hope and prayers. Give me 1 second. I'm going to wash this flux off my hand. We're going to allow that to cool off. We're going to see if it turns afterwards, if it turns on. Come on. Paul got this really cool soap. It's very gritty. I think it's made by SCJ Professional. The soap is called... Actually, no, it's Cresto Classic. Deb Stocco. Super heavy duty cleansing paste. It's not even soap. It's called cleansing paste. And it's really good if you're working on a car, or you're dealing with, you're working on your own bike and you're getting oil and dirt and grit all over you. The moment you wash your hands with this stuff, it has these little, this kind of like micro beads inside. So it kind of sandpapers your hands, but it doesn't dry out your skin as it's sandpapering your hands, which is really cool. And it's good soap to use if you get flux in your hands or something like that. I should shill that stuff. It's worth shilling. I like it. Okay. Now, one thing you may notice, one of the things I've been pointing out about this particular year-end model is that it has a tendency to stealth. What I mean by stealth is that the rubber will come off by surprise without consent. So each one of these USB-C ports has a little rubber gasket on it over here. See that? See that little rubber gasket? And on the newer models, the rubber gasket is put on there in a manner where it just does not come off. It just stays where it's supposed to stay. On the 2016 and 2017 model USB-C MacBook Pros, that rubber gasket literally comes off if you just look at it the wrong way. So just moving this thing across the desk, you'll notice this falls off a lot. And you'll notice this is missing from a lot of machines that get work done by less experienced places. And again, admittedly, these things just try to run away from me all the time. Like, I have to constantly be paying attention to make sure that this shit is not running away from me. So look, like there's one over here, like it's always trying to run away from you. Now, add to Apple's credit, they did fix this in, 2 years later. Better late than never, I suppose. I don't support stealthing. Okay, so now what we're going to do is see if this works. Plug this in. Do we get 20 volts? 20 volts? All right, CD3215 is working. 800 milliamps. Okay, 20 volts, 800 milliamps. So these chips over here, these are called CD3215s. It's a USB-C MUX. It's also a USB-C port controller. So again, you have USB 2, USB 3, DisplayPort, Thunderbolt, and charging all going through this. Because USB-C, it's kind of like a cloaca. You know how humans have like a mouth, a dick, an asshole, a nose for eating, breathing, pooping, pissing. You have other creatures, the sea creatures, that have a multi-purpose orifice. It's called the cloaca for all of their, orifice-related needs, whether it's pooping, pissing, breathing, shitting, eating. It's like all the same orifice. And the new MacBooks are pretty much the same way. You have, again, USB 2, USB 3, DisplayPort, HDMI, Thunderbolt, and charging is all handled by one port. And on this machine, you have one USB-C MUX chip doing that. On the 820-00045 A1534 board from 2015, they had some massively, ridiculously bullshit, uncomplicated muxing circuit that had, it was taking together like 9 or 10 different chips to do a basic job. And that really is not what is necessary for this. Now they have just one chip doing it, which is a lot easier, and it also does communicate with another Thunderbolt controller chip, but it's a lot simpler. So let's just show you over here why this is important and how it is that this is, how this works. Let me just open up Flex Board View, which is a piece of Paul Daniels software, which is amazing stuff, like all Paul Daniels software, when it works. And we're just going to open up Flex Board View over here, which I haven't updated since I set this computer. That's how I know the software is going to continue to work. And here we go. We're almost there. We're almost there. I'll get to show you what was going on. You excited? You excited? I hope you're excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. Hope all you are excited. All 464 of you. Okay. Where's my button? No, wrong button. Ah, cray. Yeah, wrong button again. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, this over here is going to be my charge port on the side. This is the charge port that you're looking at. Now, the charge port, there's a bunch of different stuff going on. One of them is this little CC2 line. That's where the charge port is going to talk to this. What's this? What's this? This is my CD3215. It's my USB-C port controller. And it needs 3.3 volts to turn on over here. The voltages that are present on the top of a chip on many of these MacBook schematics are the voltages that are necessary to turn it on, usually. Sometimes it's the voltage it's creating, but most of the time you'll find your voltage in, V in. I'm inferring that V in means voltage in, not VIN number as in, VIN number of a car. Voltage in, 3.3 volts. So I need to have my PP3v3_G3 hot present, which I obviously do because I'm getting 20 volts. And after that, I need to have this chip actually working. And if there's corrosion around it, if there's any corrosion in these components around it, you could be shorting any one of these lines to ground, which is no good. Any one of those caps could be, or let's say there's a resistor on some line somewhere that's messed up. I don't know, some pull-up resistors over here, any of this kind of shit can cause it to not work. And that was that. I mean, it was just corroded. So we just cleaned up those areas and we replaced the necessary components. Since this board is underfilled, it's more of a pain in the ass to replace the CD3215. However, on the flip side, since this machine is underfilled, there's a lower likelihood of there actually being damage to that chip. Now, again, when I use leaded solder, that's going to have a lower melting point, maybe 30 or 40 degrees, than the lead-free solder on the board. So I used my hot tweezers to get components into place, but I wanted to use my hot air to be able to slide them into place, and I was able to do that because, remember, that solder is going to melt 30 to 40 degrees lower than the actual balls underneath that chip. And while it's totally okay for me to, let's say, reflow a BGA chip that is not underfilled, I can't do it when it's underfilled because all the balls are going to pop out and go explode everywhere. So it's very important to not put heat there for a too long period of time. The chip itself was okay. We're just going to put this board through the ultrasonic cleaner, because you never know where the corrosion could be that you can't see. There could be corrosion underneath the CPU. There could be corrosion under any number of other BGAs that I can't see with my eyes because it's under the chip. And the ultrasonic cleaner is going to get around and in and around every single chip to clean up any sort of corrosion. The reason I don't use the ultrasonic cleaner until after I've replaced chips is that it's going to get rid of the corrosion, and the corrosion is what tells me what areas I should focus on. I don't want to miss the corrosion because the corrosion is going to tell me, here's the area to focus on. Here's the area where you need to replace components. And I want all of those hints to be as obvious and as blatant to me as humanly possible. And I don't want to leave a component on the board that may have, like, let's say, a little bit of solder that's kind of fell off or corroded, put it through the ultrasonic. It's fell off, but I can't find it properly because I can't see it, and then miss it, and then give this back to a customer, and then 3 or 6 or 9 months down the line, the shit fails again. Our warranty is not forever, but if people show up even like a year, or sometimes like a year and a half outside of warranty and it's something basic, we're more than happy to fix it again at no cost if it's something basic. But I don't want them to ever have that fucking experience. So I don't ultrasonic the board before I work on it because I want to make sure that every single hint and cue is there. I can always wash the board when it's done, and I prefer to wash the board when it's done anyway because it'll wash all the flux off, so I can use as much flux as I want, which I do love to do, and then it'll all get cleaned off, and you won't even be able to tell that there was any there, as long as I heat the flux up before I put it in the cleaner. And I also put the board through one less wash cycle. I don't have to wash it once and then twice. Every time you put the board through the cleaner, there is a chance of it not turning on again. Because again, if you put the board in the cleaner for, let's say, an hour and take it out, you'll see it's like, oh my God, it looks absolutely horrible. You don't want to put it in there forever. So that's about it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. I'm going to read through your chat, see if there's anything in here that's worthwhile, and then move on. Let's read through your chat and see if there's anything in here that's worthwhile. Yes, 7-foot penguin. Man, these comments are pretty cancerous. Continue scrolling. How do I repair a laptop without short-circuiting it? Don't fuck it up. Thank you, Meme Jeff. Thank you for the video on Honda. It's good to know which companies can and can't be trusted with right to repair. Do you have any opinions on Toyota and Volvo? None on Volvo. Toyota, I wasn't a fan of the fact that they gave about $4 or $5 million to that ballot initiative, or to Coalition of Safe and Secure Data, to try and trick people into believing that A, right to repair is based on racism, B, right to repair is based on redlining, C, right to repair is based on people trying to rape you in a parking lot. That pissed me off. I don't mind if you disagree with the concept of right to repair. I don't mind if you want to debate the merits of it, but I do mind when you release misleading, slanderous garbage like that. And again, Toyota, Honda, Nissan, Ford, and General Motors all put about, approximately $5 million in each to that effort, to Coalition for Safe and Secure Data, to make a website that disseminated garbage arguments that had no basis in fact or reality, and to produce commercials that were, in my opinion, complete, utter propaganda, to try and scare people by using the threat of home invasion or sexual assault when we're talking about somebody being able to fix your vehicle without being cucked by the manufacturer. Use specific in ultrasonic liquid cleaner or a special custom mixture. Branson EC with distilled water, 60 Celsius. Speak to Peter at eBike Motor Center UK. He fixes 30 motors a week from Bosch Yamaha. He won't touch any Shimano motors. I've never touched a Shimano motor before. I've never used one. What is your all-time least favorite board to work on? A1237, A1304, A1534. The three worst laptops Apple made during my lifetime. I would say those are the three worst. A1534, A1237, A1304. I forget if it was the A1237 or the A1304 that has the beeping MCP79U. Fuck that thing. I hate those. Like, beeping MCP79Us make me so mad. Do you reuse the components you took off? No, they're done. They're not multiple use. They went on this board is fixed. That's that. Is right to repair dead? No, it is not. Any road trip for right to repair planned? I don't have one right at the moment planned. Can you do a dance move? No dance move. I don't dance. Thanks for doing the Timcast show. Thank you. Who knows? Are there any significant issues with the new M1 to look out for? Not that I know of, besides the soldered in SSD and all that shit. I mean, the soldered in SSD and standard encryption by default and all that. I mean, yeah, just be careful with that computer. Can we send in a MacBook for Lewis to specifically fix and no one else can touch it? I don't do that because my staff is way better than I am at it, so usually they do the work. Did you hit 1 million since you opened your shop? I hit 1 million subscribers 3 years ago at this point. Actually, 2.5 years ago. Hattie, I hope it's a Frank Zappa song you have stuck in your head. Last year, our right to repair bill got stuck in committee in Oregon. Do you see any promise for a future right to repair passing bill in Oregon? I know about the Washington one. I don't know about the Oregon one off the top of my head. I'd ask Nathan Proctor. Nathan Proctor's like, he keeps on top of that. Like the status of a specific bill in a specific state and what specifically kept it from moving forward better. I've partnered with Nathan Proctor at US Perg, and I have shoveled to them hundreds of thousands of dollars. He keeps on top of all of that stuff and manages lobbyists in different states, manages grassroots efforts, and all that stuff. In that relationship, I would say, I've described this to Nathan before. I've said, like, there was this rumor that, there was this rumor, and I don't know how founded it was, that Trump really liked going out there to rallies and, like, getting people excited about issues and raising money and all that stuff. But, like, he didn't want to fucking be president. But, like, he liked, you know, the whole, like, tweeting shit and going out to rallies and riling people up. So there was a rumor that he asked John Kasich, like, yo, will you be president while I just go out there and get people to vote for us and all that other shit? And I kind of have that type of relationship going with Nathan Proctor. I am not a person who, I put this, yeah, I don't know I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this. I'm a repairman that yells into his camera on YouTube. Like, I don't know how a fucking bill becomes law. I don't know the entire process to that. Nathan is pretty much, and he has a good Twitter. He's a person who has spent, you know, the last 10 or 20 years of his life really just dedicated to trying to get specific pieces of legislation passed that benefit the public in some way, shape, or form, and fighting corporate lobbyists that bullshit you along the way. So he knows all the little nitty gritty and all these very specific details about how to get that stuff done. I know how to get people angry about stuff. I know how to get people to care about it. I know how to, I don't know, give a speech or get a million. So we kind of have that sort of that teamwork dynamic. But yeah, if you want to know why did this specific bill not pass in this specific state, or what are the specific chances on a scale of 0% to 100% that this will move forward this session, tweet or email Nathan Proctor. He knows that shit. Like I'm the person that yells into a camera. Maybe about Elon buying Twitter and owning Stars Link. I don't know what you mean, Stars Link. I don't know. I don't really care about the Twitter shit. I honestly don't care. I don't care. I deleted my personal Twitter like 3 years ago. I deleted my personal Twitter 3 years ago. No, Jose, I don't have any strong option to move my store to. For me to move to personally, I'd consider it, but moving the business is a clusterfuck. There's too many people that would not be able to leave. Do you ever see yourself retiring? And if so, would you still stream or make YouTube videos? I don't see myself retiring. I don't think I would retire until I ran my business into the ground. I could definitely see myself failing. If I failed with everything I was doing, I could see that being the end of it, but I don't see myself retiring. I'm going to keep working until I make a decision I can't recover from. So, there are many bad decisions I've made in the process of trying to move forward with the business, and I've been able to recover from all the bad ones that I made. And eventually, I think I'm going to wind up doing something that I can't recover from. And when that happens, then I'll be gone. But I don't see myself retiring. I'm just not, I become an asshole when I have nothing to do. I become an absolute fucking basket case when I have nothing to do. I need something to do. I need something to be working towards, some problem to solve, something to, I don't know. My broken A1534 off eBay is 2-volt batteries. Anybody tried to manually charge them? The A1534s are horrible. Get that out of my sight. Is Lewis an influencer? No. When I had 40,000 subscribers and I would do live streams of board repair, I had 600 viewers. At 1.7 million subscribers, I have 404 live viewers. I'm the opposite of an influencer. I would say I am the opposite of an influencer. Okay, where'd my window go? Here, window. Here, chat window. Here, chat window. Where'd you go? Ah, here we go. The Schoolhouse Rock video about how a bill becomes a law, very educational. Nathan is awesome, says Hugo. I agree. Nathan kicks ass. Nathan's the man. You don't care about being famous, basically. I don't know. I don't like the idea of being famous. My original idea when I started this channel was the maximum reach you would get. I really thought this. I thought, there's probably 300 places in the U.S. that specialize in MacBook screen repair that also maybe dabble in board repair. So I figured that the maximum base of people that would ever watch this shit was 300. Like that, and that was my best case scenario. That was if every single person doing this back in the day that I knew of were like if I had a 100% subscription rate, that's what I would get. So this is like this is not what was supposed to happen. This is beyond weird for me. How do I fix a 2022 MacBook Pro? By using your brain. I watched a video on a Power Mac G3 Blue and White, and I find it funny with how easy it was to open an upgrade compared to other ATX cases. What changed between when Apple computers were easier to upgrade compared to now? Well, I mean, I think it was always a design decision for them. Steve Jobs used to talk about how, he didn't want people opening up his shit and messing with the guts of it. It just wasn't part of... and it seemed like something that he took personally. I mean, even when it came to his personal health, he chose to not be opened up and to go with all that other sort of, I don't know, spiritual shit and all that, instead of actually getting surgery, and it wound up fucking him over really hardcore. Don't get me wrong, I get that. I don't want to be opened up in any way, shape, or form either. I'd probably wind up choosing death over surgery. There's a long string of fear of surgery and stuff like that in my family, and I definitely fit the bill for that. But it doesn't seem like he ever wanted things to be opened up. So I don't think of it as, back in the day when Apple really wanted people opening their stuff and fixing it. I don't think there was ever a time that they were really open to it. And the stuff that's older from Apple that is fixable, I just think was fixable because they hadn't gotten to the point of integrating everything into one chip. If 60 Minutes or some Boomer TV News magazine asked you to do an interview, would you bring a video recording device just in case they cut or edited footage to make right repair look bad? Fuck yes, absolutely. There's no way in hell I wouldn't do that. I had an interview with somebody from ABC. Yo, she was pissed. She was pissed because I had recorded it, and she's like, she thought because she disabled recording in Zoom that I wasn't going to know how to record it, which was so fucking adorable. That was so cute. It's like, you don't know that OBS exists. And then when she realized I was recording it, she's like, you're not uploading this to YouTube, right? And here's the thing. Of the 30 minutes of a conversation we had, they only released like 30 seconds of it. But yeah, of course I record that shit. I don't trust any of these fucks. If I have a phone, I record all of the interviews I do with any mainstream media. Honestly, any media in general, I record, just in case. But yeah, 100%, I would record it. But I would definitely do the interview. Again, the more people that know about right to repair, the better. Probably not XPYR. Probably, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about going to events with tons of people at them. We're doing a collaboration class with Jessa. I don't plan collaborations with Jessa. Anything that we do, it's just we're both friends, we're both in the same industry, we both get along, and if we're in the same room, sometimes we just randomly put up a camera. But yeah, it's really, does Elon Musk follow Lewis? No, I sincerely doubt that. Elon Musk doesn't know I exist. I kind of prefer it. Are you planning to go on the Joe Rogan podcast? No. Have you been invited? No. I've emailed 3 or 5 times over the past several years. I'm not I'm not going to invite myself on and shit. I have no plans for that whatsoever. I'd have no problem going on. I don't have some sort of problem with Joe Rogan where it's like, I didn't like what you said or did on an episode, so I wouldn't go up on your show. I'm not one of those people. I'd show up on virtually any show. Showed up on Sam Cedar one day, Tim Pool the next. I don't care. The more people that know about this as an issue, the better. It's just, I don't think that that's going to happen, though. But I'd be happy to. Have you left New York now? I'm a nomad, honestly. I'm homeless. I have an apartment in New Hampshire because I didn't want to buy a house there until I figured out if I liked it well enough to buy a permanent home there. And from time to time, I visit here to see how things are going. But yeah, I'm a nomad. Like, will I buy a house in New Hampshire? I don't know. Will I get an apartment in Florida? I don't know. Will I get an apartment in Vermont? I don't know. Buy a house in Delaware? I don't know. I don't know. I'm still kind of traveling and to figure out where I'd want to be permanently. Always record after the year 2000, ethics tank to 0. I don't have anything to lose by recording it, Like, I have 20 seconds of my time to set up a recording before I start. That's all I have. I bet Elon Musk would give Lewis a sweet, well-paying job if he ever needed one. Why? There's nothing I would have of value to offer to Elon Musk to warrant being paid a salary. I've been working in the auto repair field for 16 years. It's amazing how many newer cars you just can't get aftermarket parts for. I appreciate everything you're trying to do. Thank you, Jared Smith. Yeah, and again, like what Honda did, I get people can defend it by saying, well, maybe people will think that those 3D printed files actually came from Honda because it said Honda instead of for Honda, but that's not how they opened. They didn't say, listen, we'd like you to rephrase this certain thing and then you're totally fine having shit up. They just went straight for here's all the shit we want removed from your site. So I don't like the direction that that's going in. And, you know, Paul had mentioned that to me too, since he was a mechanic for 20 years. I believe TCRS Circuit has had another class next month in iPad Rehab. I'm fucking proud of Tim Herman. I really am. I used to have, you know, all my tutoring classes used to be completely filled up here at the store. And I've had 0 students for months, and Tim Herman has a full fucking class. He is the biggest success story of this channel that I could ever imagine. Like, I got a letter from him when he was 16 saying he started watching the channel. Hi, Clinton. He started watching the channel. He started doing board repair, learning some of the stuff from the channel. And now I'm 99% certain that he has surpassed me in knowledge, surpassed me in skill, and at the end of the day, surpassed me in reputation. More people want to learn from him than me. I'm fucking proud of him. Seriously. Like, every time I hear a story like that, I know this is going to sound so fucking corny, but it makes me want to tear up. Like, when I read that letter, because I still think I have a copy of it here from what he sent me 6 years ago, it makes me want to tear up. That's the best case scenario of what I ever hope to get out of doing what I do. Tony Tone sends me shit from time to time too. I think he sent me something like, this is the car I was living in and this is the store that I have now. Like, stuff like that. I want everybody who watches this channel, who learned something from it, to take what they learned and then surpass me. And then, you know, run a business that is infinitely more successful than mine, that can offer customers better prices, that can pay their employees more money, that above all can teach people other shit. You know, I'm proud of Tim Herman. I want to actually go to see him teach. I'd want to see him teach a class, to see how he does it. That would make me proud. That'd make me happy. This is not being streamed on a Mac. If there were parts, schematics, diagrams available for them, Jose Santos, and if there was enough money in doing it. ThinkPad P50, Julio B. It's the ThinkPad P50. Depends, 3D. We fix Apple devices and we do data recovery on all different types of hard drives and SSDs and cell phones. I don't know how you find him because I don't know who him is, Beckett. No idea who him is. If Honda executives were stupid enough to make this 3D printing issue public, I'm glad this is happening. This has only encouraged more people to 3D print car parts. Yeah, the Streisand effect. Good luck taking down every fucking website. Hello, my iPad Pro's display stopped working after I put it in a backpack with books. Screen prices are too much and I can't find any replica screen. Any advice? Thanks. Yeah, you're fucked. No, seriously, you're fucked. I don't have a special pill for you. That's why I don't really like quoting people for iPad Pro screens, because they always get pissed at me for it because they're very expensive. I don't know. You bought an Apple product. Like I'm not trying to insult you for it. To be clear, I'm not insulting you for it. But the parts prices being insanely expensive or not available, like, welcome to the ecosystem. Welcome to that ecosystem that everybody's always talking about. Should have bought AppleCare, I guess. That's what they tell you on Mac Rumors. You should have bought insurance. You should have bought insurance. I don't think component repair is dead. I did one just now. It worked. I want everything to be locked down to the point where if you're locked out of your home, you need an engineer to open it. You're a sick bastard, team effort. That's sick. Real men don't care what other men do. Real men don't start sentences with the word real men. Not at all, Jose. They're still insane. I did a video yesterday walking around the city, and there's a bunch of shit that's still vacant. It's all still vacant because they're all still asking ridiculous, asinine, unrealistic prices. Machinists have been printing car parts since milling machine, lathe machine, and CNC was invented. Yeah, but that was in a different time. That's the thing. What you're missing is that that happened during a different time when we had a different culture. Da, 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 da. Do you repair MacBooks outside of the New York City? I don't really repair MacBooks much at all anymore, honestly. Can you use hot air on through-hole components? You can, but why? But you can, just why? Kind of like alphas don't come up to you and announce they're alpha. Oh my god, okay, so we went to this fucking convention, and there was this guy that really wanted to pitch an idea to me, and I didn't give a fuck about the idea at all. And he was obviously, he just had this hustler mentality, and he came off as such a hustler that was trying too hard. So I admittedly, I didn't want to have anybody pitch to me any business idea. He wanted me to talk about whatever service he was offering on his channel, and I don't do that. Like, I don't advertise anything on this channel except, like, myself. That's it. That's the only shilling you get here is, like, you know, the stuff that I already own and use to do repairs is linked in the description below. If you buy any of that stuff, we get a commission. But it's all the shit that I'm already using. You know, it's not like I don't think you'll have ever seen an ad spot on this channel in 10 years. It's not there. I challenge somebody to find an actual ad spot that I've done. So even if your product were good, I don't really do ad spots. But in particular, I don't even really believe in your product, and I'm already skeptical because you're a hustler. And then he starts talking to Erica, and Erica's not really interested, and he's trying to get to me through Erica. And then she says, yo, like, I'm an alpha male. This is what I do. And then Erica just looks at him and goes, any man that has to say he's an alpha male is no true alpha male. And then she walks away, and he looked like he just got destroyed. But it was funny. It was funny. I'm glad she said that. Oh man, that made me laugh. That's one of the reasons that I don't go to those fucking conventions. Well, the other is that they cost money and time and opportunity, and I don't get anything in return, which is kind of annoying. Where's my ticket list? I should leave notes for this ticket. Going to leave a note for this, and then I'll go back to you. Okay, back to this. What is the cat's name? Clinton? Blackberry? Oreo? Oh, there's a cat now. It's not clickbait anymore. Hi's right. Look, see, there's a cat. Clinton! Clinton! Good boy. I'm just joshing about real men, the manosphere, and Redful philosophy as a joke. The thing is, there's like a small kernel of truth to some of the shit that they say, but then they take the things where there's small kernels of truth. Hey, focus. Focus. Hey, they take the stuff where there's a very small kernel of truth, and then they use that small kernel of truth, and then they then turn it into something that it's not, or use that small kernel of truth to come to a wild conclusion. I wish I had an example, but I got to get something to eat. I'm kind of hungry. I did not get banned on Twitch. I deleted it. Robust sound. I stand with destiny. A bunch of people said, I don't understand why that was the hill you chose to die on. I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was dead. I feel pretty alive to me. The sad part is I got the iPad Pro for free. Well, I mean, you got what you paid for. Found some interesting things repairing a Craftsman mower. The carby parts are more expensive than a new carby. It doesn't make sense to me. An O-ring for a jet costs close to 100 Australian, where you can get the complete carb for 120 AU. I don't know if Craftsman is a good company when it comes to lawnmowers and stuff like that. I don't have a lawn. I don't have a lawn. I don't think I'm, I don't know, I got fast at typing by just doing a lot of typing. Yeah, it is a noisy keyboard. I'm going to set up the one that Catherine got me. Thank you, Catherine, by the way, for this keyboard. Very much so appreciate it. We're going to maybe do some type racer streams on it. He was working on that sign since Lewis said he doesn't run ads. Challenge was accepted. You quit Twitch over Destiny? Surprised he hasn't quit YouTube over removing the dislike counter. Yeah, I mean, removing a feature versus removing a person that put 10 years of their life into a platform and did a lot of good for the world because of one thing. I think those are different things. Craftsman is dog shit right now, says Dark Armed. Yeah, I don't know. I don't use lawnmowers. Like, I don't have a lawn. My apartment in New Hampshire has no lawn. In Brooklyn, I didn't have a lawn. Are you streaming on alternative platforms? Can you say HBR Talks? You know, I have it set up to sync my videos to Rumble, but the 4 to 6 views I get a video there has just not really... It has not really excited me to get more into the platform. I don't know how to stream to library. So right now I just stream to YouTube since I got rid of Twitch. What's the minimum number of repairs per day on your shop? I don't know. I don't have that number available. I did, Nathaniel, but that was a long time ago, and I don't remember what kind of mower I had. Craftsman was a good company during the 1940s, says grandfather. Huh. Craftsman died in the 1980s. It's Chinese stuff now. I think Chinese stuff can be good. It's just, I guess they're not. Oh well. Yeah. I guess I should give people what they want before I leave. Well, yeah, let's give everybody what they want. How do you get motivated in life when everything goes against you? You have to see what your end... Well, we have to have something to be working towards. Like, what is your dream? What do you think the end is going to look like? Picture what success actually looks like for you, and is it realistic? If you think that the end result that you're looking for is actually realistic and you can visualize it, it's very easy to go through the Shawshank Redemption sewer of shit. But you need to see the island on the other end. I think I always see the island on the other end. No, Andre. And I didn't move out of the city. I rented an apartment in another area to see if I like it. Which I guess is moving, but like I don't consider it moving. I consider it moving when I found a place that I'm going to call permanent home. I don't consider it moving when it's like, I don't know. Like when I buy a house, I'll consider it moving, but I don't consider it moving when I just rented some apartment that I plan on leaving. Like I'll either say I like that place and then buy a house there, or else I don't like that place and I will rent another apartment in a different state or different area. Pet the kitty, people say. All right. Mr. Clinton. Mr. Clinton. Mr. Clinton. Yeah, right now I consider myself a nomad, Andre. In the last month, I've been to Dubai, a couple of different parts of Florida, New Hampshire, Tennessee. Where else? Like I've been a nomad, so I think nomad is a better way to describe it. How do you figure out what the island is? I have no island. That's your life journey, man. I don't know how to tell you how to do that. Clinton. Clinton. Psst. All right, time to get out of here. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. Are you going to have kids? Huh. That's someday, but yeah. I'd like to someday, but not in the near or immediate future. If I, yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping, yeah, not in the immediate future, but someday. Someday there'll be a little repairman out there. I don't know who the guy is, product consumer. I don't know what the guy means. The guy.